Welcome to Of Stardust and Earth. Be humble. You're made of earth. Be noble. You're made of the stars. I'm Jen Brown, and this is a safe space for intimate, raw conversations about sexuality, creativity, self-expression, spirituality, really everything that lights my soul on fire. So I invite you to journey with me and the beautiful friends I meet around the globe, diving into provocative explorations about love, life, and being your most radiant self.
Hey, you want to watch this podcast? This is the most fun podcast. Everyone else is just sitting there talking.
We're going to start a new thing called the Twerkcast.
After this, we need to watch this video because I think it's fucking epic.
Ooh.
We're going to get some inspo. Okay, hello.
Well, that was amazing.
We've landed now in our bodies.
We've landed in our bodies.
I was like, we need to change the channel here. We're in like business mode. We gotta go.
That's why we do these things together. Welcome.
We are here in honor of the sacred goddess. With honey dripping from our booty. Look at this. Here, I'll do what the influencers do where they go. Look at it. It's a honey ass. This is your ass. It's honey dripping off your butt.
It's my nectar. It's the honey pot.
Oh my God.
By the way, we are working on a fine art book that is going to be our greatest collection of Jennifer Brown's ass, as seen by Meghan Incorvaia over the course of our lives.
Yes, and we can add Meghan Incorvaia's boobs, as seen by Jennifer Brown.
Well, I think there has to be another book in the collection. It deserves its own.
We're going to have several series.
Book. Yeah.
We're going to have several books. Several.
So it's been like 2 years since we did a podcast together. Do you remember? Oh, it was like literally 2 years ago.
Weird.
Yeah. And
I feel like we do a podcast together every day when we like have all these crazy downloads and talk about everything.
We just need to actually get on here and record them.
So today I was like, we're recording us because we just had an epic, life-changing weekend and we need to debrief.
Yeah, for you guys that don't know, we are best friends and get to do so many epic things together in life, including creating and dancing and also moving through so much wild grief and change. And like right now has been just like a massive amount of change in both of our lives.
Yeah.
And really encouraging each other and holding each other in this vision of what we know is possible, even if we haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
And what we want to envision. And I think that the big theme that we really wanted to bring in here and talk about, because a lot of people don't even realize that we are moms. Yeah. And we are creating this new blueprint of erotic motherhood that really hasn't been seen. And it's not something that is like super available. Mm-hmm. Most women don't even know that this is a possibility. So we really wanted to talk about what this means to us in our lives and why we feel like it's so essential.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about what's been coming up for us? Like, first of all, what does it mean to be like an erotic mother?
Oh, I think it means to be a mother whose fire hasn't been extinguished by the day-to-day life-sucking tasks of caretaking others.
Yeah.
It stifles out our light. It's like we are a candle and it just goes whoop. Yeah. And then we're just left thinking, well, this is my fate now. I signed up for this.
I think too, like even just the word erotic, like in our culture, it can have this taboo feeling of like, that's just something for the bedroom. That's something that's like sexual to do with like being with a partner.
Yeah.
Whereas the way that we're really defining that is eroticism is like being turned on by life, being charged by life force energy and feeling radiant and glowing from every cell in your being and being so connected to like your deep purpose and sensuality as for all beings, and especially for feminine beings, it like literally powers and lights us up, and that's what powers the rest of the world, including the children and including the men. So to be an erotic mother is to be connected to this deep force of creation energy at all times. And like you were saying, like, I mean, I think both of us grew up with this idea that to be a good mom, you automatically just completely pour yourself out and devote yourself to your kids. I mean, you're like feeding them from your own body, right? And you're just giving everything that you have, but not with learning how to actually replenish yourself to begin with.
Yeah. I think that you and I are really redefining what motherhood archetype is authentic to us by prioritizing our pleasure and our play and our erotic aliveness. And when you have a sisterhood connection where you give each other permission, I mean, you really only need one or two other women to create a new reality and rewrite the story of what's acceptable.
That's I think the biggest key is, first of all, like the people that are in your inner circle, they shape you in so many ways subconsciously that you don't even know. And so if you have at least one or two people on your inner circle that are giving you that permission and that you admire, then you're able to expand at like this rapid rate like we've been experiencing together. Because even if there's people then beyond that small intimate circle that are saying like, you know, this isn't acceptable, this is selfish. Like what else do people say? All of these things that are our shadows, then as long as you have one person who's like, I see you and I see your potential and I see how much more alive and generous and delicious that you are as a human when you're turned on. And how much better that is than for your kids. So many things that I want to say about it. I guess both of us experience having to get to the bottom, like rock bottom of depletion. Do you want to talk a little bit about that for you and then the shifts that you've made in your life that have helped you to be where you are now?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking back to the first podcast we did was right before I went to Brazil for the first time. It was probably this exact same time of year.
It was.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, I had a situation with my kids where their father was out of state. He wasn't contributing financially. And I was in warrior mode, raising them from my daughter was age 6 months and my son was 3 when their dad moved out and we got a divorce. And I was raising them in my own place, living with just me and them for, you know, the first 10 years of my son's life. And in the beginning, I mean, it's kind of a blur now, but I really enjoyed actually like the baby stage and when they were little and, you know, that part I felt like I was able to really, really show up for. And like I breastfed for 6 years straight, basically. And I don't remember thinking like, oh, my life's horrible, I want to escape it. I just remember thinking I really want to find another man to come in and be this nuclear family and like live in our own home and do the very traditional thing. And that kind of never happened. I just continued on and really had no idea that I was slowly depleting all of my reserves until I reached this point where I was completely, there was no gas on in my tank.
Yeah.
And I had a moment where I was on a family vacation and I actually fainted with my brother and I was like very underweight. I was just very malnourished, and my body was showing it externally and was super pale. I looked like a skeleton, and I knew what was happening. I knew I was in this massive death portal, and my serious relationship of 4 years was ending at the same time. Like I knew what was happening, and I just surrendered to it. But I remember fainting, and I was with my brother and his best friend, who was also a solo parent, and he just, like, I remember coming to on the floor, and my brother's best friend just picked me up and carried me onto the couch with my brother. And I just remember looking in his eyes and crying and being like, oh my God, you know what this is like because you're a solo parent. There's no words to describe the weight that you feel on your shoulders of the responsibility of taking care of the kids in the system that we've created, where we're these nuclear families that live on these islands of these homes by ourselves. And we come from tribes. We're not evolved for that.
Yeah.
I really believe the whole community is meant to co-raise the children together in shared responsibility. And we have shared spaces. We're sharing the meal prep. We're sharing like the weight of all the caretaking is spread out among like several people. And we're able to nourish ourselves while also raising the kids.
Yeah, so you were like super isolated, single working mom, providing for your 2 kids with very little extra help or care, like a little bit of help from your family, but
I had help. And that's the thing that I kept always telling myself was like, okay, my parents take the kids for me a couple nights a week. And I would take those 24 hours to recharge my battery. But even that, I had to admit to myself, was not enough support. It just wasn't. And I reached this point where I had to really dissolve my identity as a struggling solo parent and recreate something new, because I simply couldn't go on anymore. And it was not serving my children for me to keep soldiering on and not ask for help.
I think that that's the biggest piece for me that I've really realized, and because I've had such a similar journey to you, is that the greatest gift that we can give our kids is to model everything that we really want to teach them. Because using our words, I mean, they really don't, it doesn't land. They're going to copy whatever it is that you actually do. And that includes, especially as a mom, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you care for yourself, the way you respect yourself, the way you love yourself. If you want them to be able to also really pour into themselves and to be able to follow their intuition, listen to their bodies, like you can't override those things. And the hardest changes that I keep making in my life are really inspired by knowing that my kids are watching and feeling me. And if I want them to have these big, beautiful, limitless lives, then I can't just say that to them, but then stay stuck in things that are making me depleted and unhappy. I have to take big risks, which is so scary. And then you come with all of the weight of like, I mean, with both of our situations, you know, we don't have our kids, you know, full time anymore. And so then there's the grief that comes with that. And also like, well, the fear of not being with them all the time. But if you don't have time to actually pour into being who you're meant to be, like you just said, you can't show up for them.
Yeah.
So then you reached this rock bottom and you started to nourish yourself. And then
I really started with dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found pole dancing during my breakup.
Yeah.
And that was
And then you started taking me.
Yeah.
And then I started dancing again.
I took my sister and you and everyone in my life. I was like, you need to do this. Because it's the most fun.
Yeah, it's the most fun. And it's like to have a safe space where you can get dressed up.
Yeah.
You can explore your sensuality.
Yeah.
Every single person is encouraging you to be bigger. Nobody's judging you for, oh, that's too slutty or that's too much. Everybody's like, fuck yes, more.
Yeah. Yes. I've never found a space where I felt so safe and seen and celebrated in my raw, wild, erotic expression. I was always like the crazy one. Oh my God, Megan's running around naked again. Like whenever I hang out with my friends, or just, I was always like the total wild one. And then I found pole dance and I was like, whoa, I'm tame compared to these girls.
Totally.
These girls are freaking cool. I'm hanging out here. Teach me everything you know. And I learned how to be a sensual embodied goddess. And when we create pleasure and joy, we actually want to inhabit our bodies. And I feel like our spirit fully comes into our body. Like when I was in the throes of solo parenthood, I left my body. I could not handle being here. It was way too much. And through dance, I came back home in my body. And over the period of a year, I connected with my inner wisdom and my inner knowing, and things transitioned with their father to a point where I did a handing off of the torch. And I said, I'm done having them during the school year. You're taking them during the school year, and I'm having them in the summer.
Yes.
And he said, yes, I want that. I've been wanting this for years. He just wasn't at a place where he could do it. And of course, the kids wanted to move to Hawaii. He's Hawaiian and he lives in Hawaii. So they were on board. So, and then I was supposed to go travel in Brazil already. So I, within 2 weeks, decided I'm moving out. I'm having my friend come stay at my house. She needed a place to live. She wanted to help me sell all my possessions on like Facebook Marketplace. I went to Bahia, landed there where you were traveling. Yep. We had already planned on doing a month trip there. Mm-hmm. And literally just like that, just like dissolved my life and my identity as a solo struggling mother, impoverished, survival, into a woman who's expanding into this life that I had only dreamt of. Like traveling in one of the most beautiful, stunning places in the world. The beaches in Bahia are magnificent. They look like screensavers everywhere you go. The people, like Brazil represents joy. The culture is the most joyful, embodied culture I've ever been in my life. It's just like, I was this dry sponge in the desert, just rock hard, and you just plant me in the jungle, in the ocean, being a mermaid, and like sucking all the life, all the vibrancy just came right back. And you were like, I'm renting this mansion and you're going to come stay here. And I was like, oh no, I can't afford that. And then I got to save my money because I got to be in Brazil and I'm not working. And you were like, no, I'm just going to pay whatever you can. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm doing this. And you like really opened my mind to allowing myself to receive something that beautiful. Like the place that we stayed was magnificent.
Yeah, it's my dream. It is my dream. It's coming true. It is the dream. And I felt so deeply inside of me that us being able to embody that, even for a week, and to experience it was going to give all of ourselves the evidence that we need that this is possible and this is going to be our reality. And I believe so deeply in that, like how it doesn't have to be like this massive thing. You can expand in a short period of time, but sometimes you just have to see it and taste it to believe it. Well, I wanted to come back to you really quick before, because I love this and I want to talk about like where you're going with it all. But you said something that really hit me that was so important. When you were super depleted, and I had this experience too, so much of you wanted to exit your body. And like, I think that with all kinds of addictions that are so rampant in our society, even with, scrolling and social media, but definitely with alcohol. I mean, I see like in the culture with so many moms and dads too, everybody, getting together and drinking wine and beer and everything, smoking weed. And it's this escapism because it feels so uncomfortable to be in the body. And I think that both of us had this experience of like when we started doing somatic things like dance that also brings so much joy. You bring yourself into your body, and in your body is where all of that pain and grief is stored. So first of all, you have to fucking feel that stuff, which is why we're trying to escape it, because it's scary. But also in the body is all the wisdom, all the intuition to guide you.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to be so much in our heads and justifying and rationalizing and planning and like looking outside of like, oh, look at this picture perfect life over here. Look at this white picket fence. Look at this thing I'm supposed to want and go after or supposed to be. But when you are actually able to get into the cells of your body and inhabit your body, it knows what you're meant to do. It knows like the place that you're supposed to live in. It knows the friends that are right for you. It knows the vocation that's going to bring you the most joy and light you up. And that is supposed to be unique. It's supposed to look different than every single other human out there.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be where we just, we see a template and then we put that template on ourselves. And I think we both had this experience that the more we twerk, the more we shake, the more that we feel in all of these ways, then that intuitive wisdom that is so alive inside of us can guide like, what is the next right step?
Yeah.
And which is exactly what you did then when you were like, I'm dissolving my life here.
Yeah.
I'm going nomadic.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a professional artist mermaid.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm going to attract everything I need to and I'm going to figure it out. And it's really wild being back here a year later.
Yeah.
And I've had the download that I needed to sell my house for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And I have been so afraid. And I've just used my rational mind to tell me like, it's not smart. You don't know where you're going. You can't afford blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I think that having you as my best friend and seeing that you're able to do that has finally given me the courage to say, Jen, like, you don't even know what's available to you if you take this courageous leap.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm not chasing somebody else's dream. I'm really like tasting and smelling and feeling the sensuality of like the daily life that I know is going to make me even like grow and expand more.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that that's like such an important key about, you know, somatics, anything to do with getting into your body, and especially getting into your body in a way that makes you feel joyful, and why this is so essential for moms and dads, for everybody. But then you're able to access all of this wisdom that can guide you, and intuition that you didn't even have access to before.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to come back to the piece about you renting the house in Brazil, because it was like intuitively you just knew I'm going to rent this house to tell myself that this is going to be my fucking house. Yeah. Maybe not this exact house, but something this or better.
Yes.
And you knew exactly what you were doing.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come stay in this house with you. Fuck yeah. And then we took these epic photos. We just shared
so much creativity.
The photos helped us anchor in the reality.
We've literally been sharing content from that house for a year, and we still have more that we
shot.
haven't
We did
even,
a million photo shoots. We were so inspired. We lived the queen's life. We had a fucking private chef preparing food from the land from us every day, with most panoramic views of the river leading into the ocean. We were just in this mermaid trance the whole time we were there. It was so magnificent. And you have inspired me as my best friend to make radical investments in my desires and my pleasure in these experiences that expand my subconscious to believe what's possible for me. And as artists, we got to go full out and all in on these things that we know are going to be so inspiring, because that's the wellspring of all of our art.
That's another thing that has become so clear to me in my life, and like the way that we're approaching now travel and experiences. I used to think like I need to be able to afford or to justify certain things in my life, and I would have to earn it by working hard and then being able to take some time. And that's really the way our culture is set up with vacation and everything too.
Yeah.
But what I realize now is that these are essential experiences that are part of life school for me. And it really feels like if there's something that's calling to me, like I just went to Envision, you just went to Loveburn, that's an investment.
Yeah.
That's not an expense.
Totally.
That's an investment in us even just showing up as our best selves in the world, but also like really for our dreams of being performance artists and creating.
Yeah.
And also what we do with leading women with our photo sessions, like you have to walk the walk the same way that the best way to be able to pass that wisdom to your kids is by embodying it, not saying it. I feel like really the only way for us to be able to create these really transformational containers for women to be able to expand beyond what they ever could have imagined for themselves is to be that.
Yes.
And we hold the frequency, and then they feel safe with us, and then they can do it too.
Yes.
So yeah, so back to like the experiences and everything, it's like, it's essential. It's not extra. It's not frivolous. It's not selfish.
It is. Yeah.
Which is another really good word to talk about, I think, along with erotic motherhood.
Oh yeah. I've been called selfish by a lot of people. And I think, I have done so much shadow work, which can be kind of like a bummer to do, but it is good to know.
It's really powerful.
My shadow for sure is that I can be very self-centered. If you're into astrology, I'm a Leo. I have a lot of Leo in my chart. Leo sun, Leo rising, Mars and Leo. And the shadow of Leo is you can be a selfish biatch. You can be very, very arrogant. It's like my way or the highway, and just self-obsessed and vain. And I really leaned hard into that. Like that is a part of me that I cannot ignore. And as moms, we need to give ourselves permission to be totally unapologetically selfish, because guess what? If there's no gas in your tank, you're not going to drive your little carpool van around with your kids all over the soccer place and everywhere. Like, we got to put the oxygen mask on first, and then for our kids. And it looks so, so, so different than the script of motherhood that we've been sold.
Totally.
And I pissed off my parents, my sister, my kid's dad were like so mad at me for making the choice to send my kids to Hawaii. Of course, their dad wanted to take them, but he still judged the F out of me. Like he was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what
you
kind
can't
of a
abandon
mother?
your kids.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I was the resourced parent up until a point, and then he became much more resourced because he had been pouring into himself, and he had spent all this time healing for years and years and years. And then it was his time to take them.
Totally.
And I had to let my ego admit, I can't do this all on my own, and I have to ask for help. Like it was this point where like I feel like I didn't even have a choice. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell you. Yeah. Remember, I didn't tell you what I was doing until I got to Brazil. I couldn't tell anyone because it was so radical and out of the box that I couldn't have anyone's negativity coming in. And I just did it. It was like something compelled me. Something took over my body. I remember being on a walk and just knowing in the depths of my bones that I had to put in my 30 days with this place that I had that was such an insane deal, and San Diego is so expensive.
But it was not a good neighborhood. It was not a good vibe. It wasn't a good frequency.
It wasn't, but my dad was always like, this is where you will live. This is where you can afford to live.
Right.
If you give this place up, you will never have your own place in San Diego ever again. And I believed that 100%. And I always believed my dad was like the ultimate, knew everything. He took care of me, made sure I was safe. He was such a great provider.
Yeah.
Or the partners that I had. And I feel like in the male brain, they just operate so much. Like I love men because they are so good at creating in the 3D realm. But sometimes, their knowledge is limited to a certain point. Mm-hmm. And we really operate in this other dimension of reality and bring it here, just like we fucking bring a spirit through our pussy. Like, it's so powerful and so different than the way the male brain operates. Yes. I could not listen to the voice of my dad anymore. No. And when I told my dad my decision, he was like so angry at me and told me, how could you abandon your daughter? She's 8 years old. She needs you. Mm-hmm. And I took that in, internally. I was crying, but I didn't even show him. And I remember just going upstairs into my room and just feeling my own body and my own wisdom. And it trumped the wisdom of my dad. Yeah. And I was like, I'm following my own compass, and it was a pivotal moment in decision.
Yeah.
Because the voice of our parents really, or whoever are people that raised us, it's this subconscious loop that keeps us stuck in old shells. And when we need to outgrow it, it's time to let that go. And I honor my dad for all of his desire to protect and love. It's from a place of love. It's his glasses, like his worldview, his mindset of what worked for him.
Yes.
But it's not what works for me. And so, and you really provided like so much. Our sisters provide the safety and security we need to like rewrite the story. We have our chosen family then. That's part of our expanded new identity. Yeah. And that's what we need to call ourselves forward and hire into a different reality. And I'm like 1,000% different woman today than I was 2 years ago, the last time we did our podcast. I'm so full of joy, excitement, nourishment, vision, completely restructured what I want to be doing in the world, like pouring into my passions, why I'm here, living my dharma. Yeah. I'm so much healthier. I'm so much more vibrant. Like my cup is full. And then I, from a place of overflow, can work with clients and people. And this benefits my kids more than me being there every day, like haggard, just showing up because I think that this is what I got to do for them.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important point is like the presence that you're able to bring with them now. Yeah. And that vitality, their experience with you, of life together is so fundamentally different. Yeah. And it's like, it's not about the quantity all the time in life. I mean, even like culturally, we're like obsessed with like getting a lot. But what about the quality of it? And instead having like this beautiful high quality interaction in everything you do with yourself, with your lover, with your children, with your passion, with your work in the world, you know? Yeah. And now you're able to have that quality because you actually have the resources and you continue to prioritize that. Yeah.
Yeah. And my dream has always been to raise them in a community in nature. And this is the first year I've been able to finally create that. And my plan is to go to the Big Island in Hawaii with them and live in community in a freaking paradise.
So dope.
We can do whatever the fuck we want as moms. If you don't like your life, like you have the power to create something so different and unique to you, but you absolutely will piss a lot of people off, and you have to be willing and ready to follow your own guidance above everyone else. You have to have that courage and that inner knowing and really build that muscle of following your guts, you know, and your body is going to tell you, you're going to be sick. You're going to be breaking down. You're going to be emotionally fucked. You're going to be on prescription drugs to function, or I gotta smoke weed because like I'm so uncomfortable in my skin, or I mean, there's a place for that. And I've definitely used cannabis to help open up my chakras and like channel Shakti. Like that's what it's for. But when you're using it because you have to have it because your life sucks, that's so different. And you know the difference. Like you know. So
you definitely know.
Yeah. I just want to empower and encourage women by living my own life and radiating that they can author whatever story they want of how they parent and how they mother. And I'm still figuring it out, but I know that I'm on the right path.
Like that's the whole point of being a human being.
Yeah.
We come here and we idolize our parents from the time that we're little because we think that they've had it figured out. Then we have a baby. And what happened to me was I realized, oh, fuck. My parents were actually babies like me. They had no idea what they were doing. They were just figuring it out and doing the best that they could, which gives you so much empathy for them too. But to remember that, like, we are here so we have the opportunity to continue to expand. And if we're not growing, we're stagnating, we're dying.
Exactly. And we gotta have fun. We gotta have, listen, this is impossible to do alone. Okay, we got to have our mirrors, our sacred muses in life that see the woman we are becoming and celebrate her.
which is something we're both passionate about too,
Yes.
is creating even more and more spaces for that community through the work that we do, through the art nights that I do, through the performances that we're creating, the performance art, and your singing and dancing and everything, making spaces that are safe for that. You know, it's interesting. Something you were just saying triggered too for me, along with the blueprint of being an erotic mother, is really owning your sensuality and not feeling that that has to be reserved for the bedroom and hidden from your children. Because yes, there's this like weird taboo that like, oh my God, like our kids can't see people being sensual. Like, oh, that's going to be so dangerous or so bad for them.
Totally.
Okay, first of all, where do we all come from? How are we made? Through sex, through orgasm. Like literally life is created through orgasmic pleasure. And that isn't just for humans. That is for every living creature on the entire planet, every flower, every bird, every fish, like everything is created that way, right? That is the essence and the beauty of life force energy of God.
Yeah.
So first of all, that's where we come from. Second of all, if you have a baby and a child, you know that they are sensual creatures.
Yeah.
You know, from the time that they are on your breast.
Yeah.
And that relationship is so intimate and so beautiful. And it feels amazing if you let it. And it's so healing and nourishing for your body. But what do? We like try to hide it, try to numb out. You know, you don't have that intimate like eye-to-eye contact.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite part. Was this intimacy that's so pure and beautiful. And like the way that it would flood your body with oxytocin. And you would all feel so delicious. I feel
like my
and
boobs
good.
like letting down milk when you're talking about it.
And then they get a little bit bigger and they like love to dance and they just want to be stroked and touched. And like children know how to like be in the sunshine and just like revel in the deliciousness of life and savor it. And then at a certain point, all of a sudden our culture, to protect them, tries to shut everything down instead of really addressing the fact that it's the way that we are designing the space. Like it's the same way with women. Like if you're wearing something that's sexy, then that's your fault if you're like, you know, inciting a man's desires and if he does something, rather than the responsibility lies on the man to own his desires and to be able to act in a way that is respectful and loving towards women, towards children. And I feel like that is the real culprit here. And we have instead like villainized women and made us have to police ourselves and each other to stay safe. And I think that that's where a lot of this comes from, of like, oh my gosh, you can't dance like that around these kids or whatever. But truly, like this expression of life force energy and joy is what we need more of, and what kids even need to be immersed in and to see, so that they can stay connected to their bodies rather than go through that time like we both had where we became so disassociated from our bodies that we couldn't even make good choices.
Right.
If you, from the time you're a child, you learn to like cultivate your own energy and to own it for yourself, and to also be able to have healthy boundaries and to not need to share that with anybody that you don't want to, that is actually what will keep them safe. Not by pretending like they're not sensual beings.
Yes, I think we model to them what it's like to live an embodied life. To feel the fullness of the pleasure of our bodies through dance, through touch, through our sensuality.
Through art.
And then that's the safest way to protect your child, because then they're going to have the permission to be embodied. And their bodies are a finely tuned compass to tell them who's a danger and who's not. Because most molestation happens from friends and family members. And we got to teach them, listen, like if you feel closure, if you feel stiff, if you feel uncomfortable, awkward around someone, you don't have to be around them. Exit the room. Or ask for help or whatever. You know, like that's how we actually keep kids safe. not by trying to pretend like we're asexual beings and like, oh, don't let them see their mom doing pole dancing or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we just had that happen where we kind of got scolded by a grandma in a space for twerking.
Yeah.
Enjoy and fun.
Yeah.
And
at an event, the security guard came. She went and got the security guard to make us move to a different area away from her grandkids.
Because heaven forbid kids see women shaking their hips.
Yeah.
Shaking out trauma, shaking, you know, like, oh my gosh, this is so...
Well, you were spanking me. I was bent over in front of you and she was like, And there's a special power that comes when we spank each other because it's like waking up the pelvis. It's like waking up the sacral chakra.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is this a somatic release? Like it feels so good. And we spank our kids to get them in line. So what the F? Why are we getting in trouble for spanking each other in fun?
I know.
Like, it's so ridiculous. But when she got the security guard, I was just like, whatever. Let's just migrate over here. Like, I've totally accepted that when you're so authentic and erotic and filled with this the most powerful type of energy we can carry, you will trigger the fuck out of anyone who has been conditioned to suppress that. Totally. And it's not even their own fault. It's literally you grow up in our society and you will be suppressed.
Totally.
But yeah, I've accepted it. Like there's a lot of places I go where I gotta go, you know, I'm asked to stop or move or whatever. And it's just a part of it. I'm okay with it. And then I go and find my places where I'm celebrated. I just migrate around and go find the spaces where we can do it. But I'm not going to stop doing it and feel ashamed just because someone's projecting like their own suppression onto me.
Totally.
Like I feel bad for her. This is such an incredible way to experience life. It's so fun and it feels so good. Yeah. And I wish every human could feel what it's like to dance and be fully embodied before they die because it's the best way to live. We crack the code to life. There's nothing more fun and there's nothing that feels as good as this. Like everyone wants this. Who wouldn't want this? This is the best way to live.
It is the best way to live.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because back to like even modeling courage for our kids, modeling, you know, being able to follow your dreams. I also think that modeling being comfortable in your body, in your skin. Like I love that we create all of this nude art that empowers other people to also feel good in their skin. And I want the exact same things for my kids. I want them to be able to move their body in any way that feels good to them. And along with that, like it creates this sovereignty. Yeah. This like really sacred sovereignty. And in the same way you were saying how it protects them as children, then as they become young adults and adults, like I didn't know that my body was for me. I thought my body was for a partner.
Oh my gosh.
I was so disconnected from myself and just doing so many things, like worrying about their pleasure, what things look like, what I was like, you know, if I was too goody-goody, if I was this or was that. And instead of being inhabited in my body and to be able to feel what was actually right for me and what felt delicious and good and help me make good decisions about who I should be with, I was so like outside of myself that I couldn't even exit situations that were really toxic and dangerous, you know? So being disconnected from that, it actually did such damage to my capacity to tune into my body's own wisdom. Yes. Which is then what makes it when you have that sovereignty and you can access your own pleasure and radiance and joy and fun. You're not dependent on a partner or another person to provide that for you or for permission for it, which I think then helps you to be able to exit relationships that aren't healthy, exit jobs that aren't healthy, like just in general to be able to make such good decisions. And it all comes from being so inhabiting of your skin and able to live from this place from the inside out,
Right.
rather than constantly worrying about the outside in. And that starts at a really young age. And even us in public dancing, we often will have kids be like, you had a little girl come up and say like, that was so cool.
Yeah.
You were so full
Yeah.
out, you know? And kids see it.
Kids
they
love that.
get it. They love it because they're like, I want to move my body in all these wild, weird, crazy, fun, ecstatic ways, you know?
They see us having fun.
They see us having fun, you know?
Yeah. It's literally the best thing we can do as mothers is to model embodiment and joy.
And the only way to model it is to do it. Be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also the most fun. And that's what life's about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would say like a couple years ago too, when I really started on this journey, I had this idea of like creating a recipe for the different elements that I need to sprinkle in to my day to have like the perfect day every day. And I think that the way that we really practice this is by infusing every single day with these things that we know are going to generate life force.
Yeah.
So like dancing every single day.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody needs to be dancing. Whether it's in your bathroom, in front of the mirror.
We dance our lives.
We dance our lives. You dance.
That's our
you
slogan.
Dance your anger. You dance your grief. You dance your happiness. You dance everything.
Yes.
Sunshine, skinny dipping,
ocean,
being with good friends, savoring
food.
Yummy, delicious, fresh
sugar,
honey,
chocolate.
Yeah.
These things that bring us pleasure and fun. It's so unheard of. Like the story for moms is that we don't have time for pleasure and fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's other priorities that are way higher than that. But that actually is priority numero uno.
It totally is.
And it's so revolutionary to like actually live a life where you're doing that.
It really
it's
is.
Literally unheard of. Every single mom I know is so depleted. So depleted. When they're honest, like on the outside, we all function and we look normal.
And a lot of people can look really put together and
they're not okay inside.
Yeah.
And you can see it. You can feel it. The fire is not lit.
Mm.
And it's just the truth. So we gotta start this revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. We're starting a movement, a whole movement.
We are. And we're going to talk a lot more about our experience in motherhood and giving ourselves permission to be these new women that embody our Eros as well as mother our children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like as this whole movement and tribe is growing, because we know quite a few women who are on the same frequency as us now, it starts becoming less taboo. And even if outside of your circle, there still can be judgment and pushback, if you have a strong inner core that sees you and supports you, I feel like, we were in the elevator, we were talking to this other young mom, and I was telling her, like, this isn't frivolous. It's like literally essential because we are the centerpieces of family. And when a woman is resourced in this way and able to like live an epic, juicy, delicious, feminine life, then that is flowing into every single other human being. And it's literally changing the world. Like changing the world. And when you feel like that too, like there's not this need to like, you don't feel jealous or like you want to take from somebody else or have somebody else kind of like cut down. You feel like this sense of wanting everybody to flourish around you and seeing the beauty in everybody. You know?
Yeah. The woman is the heart of the home, the emotional heart.
Yeah.
So when we're not okay, everyone feels it. And when we're filled and we're juicy and we're overflowing, everyone feels it. It's like night and day. And we can't hide things from our kids.
No, I think
they feel when you're struggling with depression. They feel when you're vacant. They feel when you have a life that you need to escape and have a vacation from for 4 days.
Yeah.
And then come back to your momming and be like, oh God, I gotta go back to being a mom. Like, ugh. They feel that.
Totally. Yeah,
We're not doing them any favors by soldiering on and having our big egos be like, I can do this. I'm a strong, independent woman. I can work. I can take care of my kids. I got to work and help my husband. And I got to take care of my kids. And I got to clean my house. And I got to drive them all over San Diego County. And I got to do this and this. And there's no options. And you're just like, ugh, like you're literally dead inside. You don't want to have sex because you got no energy.
Yeah.
Like that is not the best showing up in the best version of yourself to mom.
Absolutely not. And then you get to the end of your life and you're like, what did I just do?
Yeah, it's like one of the number one regrets on the deathbed is I wish I would have lived a life authentic to me and not the life my mom wanted me to live, or
my dad,
whoever
whatever person in society.
You know, abandoning yourself to live the expectations of others.
I think about that every time that I'm getting ready to make a big leap in my life or do something that feels so scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is worse? Doing this thing that might not work out or that might bring me some embarrassment, right? Or getting to a time in my life where it's too late and I look back and I have regrets. And that feeling of like having regrets that I didn't even try makes me feel, it's just like the ickiest feeling inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a good motivator to be like, no, all the people that you see and admire who are living big, beautiful lives, they're willing to take risks. They're willing to have something not go the way that they thought it would be. And then it leads to something else, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, so one thing I've been thinking a lot about, and I just shared with you the other day, was this book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He talks about how we always have this constant loop of thoughts in our head, this voice in our head that's telling us all these things. And it's usually fear-based.
Totally.
And it's like, oh, if you do this, then this could happen. You're going to fail. You're going to end up, you know, you're going to die, basically.
Totally.
And it's like learning to recognize that as just this thing that is not you, but it's, I see them as like these little things that were in The Little Mermaid when Queen Ursula had like all her little minions and they look like these weird things growing out of the seafloor. Yeah. And I'm like, those are all those voices. They're just like these little things that are like, be scared. Don't change. You're going to fail. Who do you think you are? If everyone knew who you were, they would think you need to be imprisoned. I don't know. I feel like the weirdest thoughts ever.
Right.
They're not the truth. They're not actually me. They're just these little things that were protectors that were trying to keep me safe based on the subconscious scripts in my head. And if you disassociate from those as being you, you can ignore them and continue to take action regardless of what they're screaming or saying or waking you up in the middle of the night or in the morning early. Like, it's just me. It's not reality. The real reality is our higher self. Hi. The dog has joined us and is choking. We love him. Thank you for making your appearance on a podcast. Oh, do you need water? When in doubt, twerk it out.
When in doubt, twerk it out.
We dance our lives.
We dance our lives. Yeah. I think dancing for all.
Yes.
More sensuality, more sexiness. Having best friends and community that support you in being your biggest self no matter what the fuck it is that you want to do.
Yeah, that literally see you as your highest self. Like, I see you as this world famous choreographer, show creator, medicine woman, world renowned workshop holder, living in your mansion, having your king, literally living your best life. and hold the vision for you and celebrate and champion that with certainty. Like I'm 100% certain that's you.
I just had this thought too, that another big piece about this idea of erotic motherhood is that there's no expiration date on us being our most sensual expressed selves. Like we are getting hotter.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean like needing to look a certain way on the outside. It means literally radiating from the inside out and glowing with that life force energy. I mean, both of us are really natural. We have not wanted to do a lot of like any of the face things and
Botox
whatnot.
And filler.
Yeah. All the stuff to like freeze us and make us,
we don't take like antidepressants.
No.
We don't drink alcohol.
No. And we're making choices to like feel our best and really believing that all of our big dreams aren't, it's not like, oh, you're too old now that you're in your 40s and you're a mom, so forget about it. It's like life is just starting right now because we're both at a place where we know who we are and we have the bravery and the confidence to actually do the things we want to do, you know?
Yeah.
And the presence.
And I don't want to say too, I was just thinking like, I don't want to make women feel ashamed if they are doing any of that stuff. I think what I just want to do is empower you to live your truth. Like we're just living our truth. For us, that doesn't feel aligned. Right?
And I think that the reason that a lot of people make those choices is because we've been so indoctrinated with this idea that if we don't have beauty in youth, then we're worthless as a woman and we become invisible in society. And we hear so many women as they get older that this is really the way that it feels. And this is a systemic problem. And so I feel like it is just such a rebellious act for us, and we are such rebels to be like, no, we can be fucking hot without all of this stuff.
Yeah, what makes us hot literally is dancing.
Yeah.
Like the more we dance, the hotter we get.
I totally agree.
We're just also filled with life force.
Really good photo shoots help too. Like whenever we're like doing shoots and being like the way that you see me.
Yeah. Whenever we're having fun and creating art and living our passions, that makes us hotter. Literally, my body has changed so much. I used to be a Skeletor. And now I have curves again. And like my skin is like full of life. And my energy levels are so much higher. I don't get sick all the time. You know, it's so night and day.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think that was a perfect summation of what it means and why it's so important to actually embrace and be this erotic mother. Yes. Thank you. That was fun. That was so fun. That was a journey. Hopefully you guys enjoy this wild twerky ride.
Yeah. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Shimmy and twerk.
Little head whips for the...
This is how we activate each other. A sacred spanking. Twerkulator. Dude, this thing's really good for twerking.
Soft.
I have to not like break your nose with my butt.
Do what?
Remember when I broke your nose almost?
I don't have underwear on. Like I do have, but